Hello, my name is Zach I'm James J. Booksquare, and today we're starting hopefully a new writing series. So I'm starting doing book writing, but book writing, once again, I've talked about before, it's only periodically. It's only like when I have an update to talk about or I've made significant progress in the work. I'm thinking it's going to be like every few months. We do have a bit of announcement for the third book in the P4 and GSR, Mr. and Mr. St. James. We'll have a cover coming out for that and stuff. I figured we could also do monthly writing vlogs. These are videos where I can come in, I can sit down, I can just tell you what I'm working on. They might not be super long, they might be over long, I don't know. Essentially this month though, because it's Nanowrimo, and we're doing Nanowrimo 2.0, or Nano 2.0 I think. I actually really like Sarah Sutton, who got the idea from somebody else. I'll link it down below. She said it's November, or something like that, and I really enjoyed that concept better. However, I'm not trying to write 50k this month, which we'll jump into all. We'll explain. I'll talk. This month, for the first 18 or 19 days, I will be working on Mr. and Mr. St. James, getting that ready for publication. The publication date is around the corner. Don't know if it's announced yet, so I won't be talking about it here if I do get a date. We are doing a lot of work, but it's a single chapter a day while I'm at work. Is the plan, is the goal, so we'll see if we can accomplish that. I really hope we can. Once I finish that and I go on my little hiatus from it and stuff, for also be formatting on my days off, because I'm not planning on working on any like editing on chapters on my days off, Mondays and Tuesdays. I will probably still be working on the book itself though. I'm doing some formatting stuff for it, probably, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I think I might start formatting the ebook because it's a little different, but I might not start formatting the paperback until I have the whole thing done, because I did find that not to be an extremely hard experience doing it the other way. The ebook, however, I have found it's better to do it chapter by chapter, so I'll probably just continue doing it that way. But we also need to I've not made a cover yet for the third book. I need to do that. I do have the title, I have all the stuff. I just need to find, the framing of it. I don't have the framing. I have the color down. I have everything except for the person. So we'll be doing that, and I'm gonna be working on that. So we'll be working on some other writing stuff. I'm just gonna periodically come in here and update you. I want to let you know we're editing again. We're back in the midst. I took a few days off. I read like 16 things in these 2 days. That's like 5 days off in preparation. Today and over the next few days, I'm going to be working with Ingram Sparks and Amazon to get the paperback up for P49, as its publication day is just a few days around the corner, and we're officially 2 days out from it being released. It's a constant moving cycle. Monday is my chill day. Monday is my relaxation day. I'm going to go see a movie. We're going to go out to eat in celebration. Hello, this November writing vlog. I'm going to come here and update you guys first. We are on day 3 of November, and I worked on writing yesterday. The first and second day, I edited the first 2 chapters of GSR Book 3, which by this point has a title, possibly a release date, and a cover. If so, all that information is sitting over here, but it's called Mr. and Mr. St. James. The first 2 books are Gunshot Residue and P49, which we talked about on the channel prior to these moments. So essentially, I did the first 2 chapters. The first chapter is this is fun. This is something we can talk about. Gunshot Residue ends on a cliffhanger that is eventually resolved in P49. Like, we eventually come back to it, but the opening of P49 is different. It doesn't pick up immediately where the last book ended, right? And so that was like one of those things that I knew going into P49 or into the third book I wanted to change, because I love a seamless transition between book 1, book 2, 3. So P49 ends on a cliffhanger, and book 3 opens directly where that cliffhanger ends. I'm obsessed. I adore that so much. I think this is extremely important where this begins, so I'm not complaining or anything. Like, I don't think I would make a choice different. I had gone back and forth if I liked the opening scene or not, if it was necessary. But I think for the character and everything we're building, I think it was necessary, so I'm happy I kept it for the opening of P49. By the way, I enjoy the opening of the first book. Third book. Is it my favorite opening? No, because I have to say I think my favorite opening of all 3 of these books. You know what? Because I do kind of keep the opening as like the first 5 chapters or so. Because like the first 5 chapters are like the really big setup parts of here, and I do think we get the biggest character information. And then obviously if you read P49 by this point, you do know that by the end of chapter 5 going to chapter 6, there's a huge like switch in the whole book. So like it's super important and it's super crucial. And so like does the third book also have a very similar situation that I'm talking about between these, where the book kind of changes from what you thought the book was about to something else? Yeah, kind of. But also like, but I edited the first chapter. The second chapter was more like it's a traditional, it's a transitional chapter, and so there's like some really good stuff in it, but like it was really short, so also super easy, and got that edited. But now we're officially done editing until Wednesday. Today is publication day. Today is November 3rd. P49 is officially out in the world. I just got the files updated for Ingrid Sparks to hopefully get it to go wide in the next few days, and also I got the files for the paperback for Amazon as well, because they do recommend you upload on both, and so I followed several tutorials to make sure I did this correctly, because this one will also be up through Ingrid Sparks, and so we can have like a wider distribution as well for it. However, I didn't do it right, so it was a bit more complicated. If you want to know, I'll probably do a deep dive into, after all 3 books are out, my thoughts and opinions on all the stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes. P49, once the paperback and everything is out, it's good. I do need to update the file on Amazon because I forgot to update the file for that. And so those are the things I'm working on today for celebration. I went and saw Begonia as a celebrated thing for me. It was one of my anticipated movies of the year. And then also me and my husband are going out for dinner, also in celebration. Very exciting. And so I'm just kind of waiting for me to get these things, but I was told it could take 3 days, so I don't know why I'm clicking it a bunch of times. But that's where I'm at with the writing. I'm very excited. Also made some very big changes. So I have not edited as I went for a very long time. I think I talked quite a bit on this channel about how I do not recommend editing as you go. And now that I am officially 2 books in the publication, right, and we're moving on to the third, I've actually decided to kind of go against this. And for my 4th book, the next book that we're going to be working on, primarily, to be fair, I'm normally in between 3 or 4 books, or between 2 or 3 books of writing. The next 2 or 3 books, I'm going to be following this method and see if it's different. These books were really short. These were, this is 30,000-ish words. This is 37,000-ish words. The third one is 30-something thousand words. Very short when it comes to word count, and so they were not super hard to get to the point where they could be published. However, the next book, Project TM, which I'm working on, jumping right into, is going to be 70 to 80,000 words. Project CFR is going to probably be like 100,000 words. Dragnoia 2 is going to be around 70,000 words. I think for books that are that long, I think getting past those first few initial drafts of little edits and stuff could be very helpful, that we're not like so stuck on it, and I can just move directly into, okay, draft 1 is done, it's been edited, here you go, betas, and you guys can tell me what you guys don't like. I feel like that's probably going to be the most easiest for me, especially for those 2 books. Dragnoia will just be the whole book, and once I get done with the whole book, it's all done, which is very exciting, because we skip a lot of drafts in that series, because it's written for my little sister. She doesn't care as much. Publication, you gotta do all the stepping stones. That's gonna be a fun little experiment, which we'll talk more about once we actually get going. But Hello November writing vlog. I made some great updates, by the way, with this November writing vlog. So we did finish chapter 3. I can't show you it because this is a spoiler. Actually, can I show you it? I don't want to show it. I'll show you it when it gets announced, which will be during this vlog. But I did finish the cover for book 3, which is great. I know the color scheme in 9 yards, it changed, but I'm not mad. We did finish chapter 3 yesterday, and now we have chapter 4. Chapter 4 is a bit of a longer chapter, 21 to 32. It's a bit of a longer chapter. Oh my god, I did not realize chapter 4 was that chapter. Oh, this is my favorite chapter, I think, of the entire series. What a good day for Jacob. So I have that to look forward to today. I did not realize that's what we're jumping into. I'm so excited. This is the chapter. The whole point of this book series is this one chapter. So cool. I mean, it evolved into so many other things, but however, I did figure it out. So we're working on this until the 17th, which is Monday. It must not be the 17th. Something like that. It's towards the end of this month. Then we're going to take a week off, and I'm going to have the whole book formatted at that point in 9 yards. And so we're going to order a proof copy, and then we're going to read the proofs that following week on the 24th. However, during that week off, I'm going to be working on nothing but outlines, because I have plans for December, which we'll talk about later. Not important here. So yeah, very fun, very fun. That's all I got for you. Update you later. We are on track. I think today, well, today's the 9th, but that doesn't matter. The actual date does not matter. Let's put that out there. We're currently going to chapter 7, so we're 7 days into this challenge, because I take the 2 days off on my weekends, because I don't like working on my weekends, and I don't typically can focus on like an editing project on the weekend, so I don't worry about it. I'm just like, no, not for me, which is fine. I work 5 days a week. I can edit 5 days a week. Not a problem. Sometimes I edit in the morning. I don't know. I'm much more focused on the days that I'm not off. Is that we are still working on GSR Book 3. We just got to chapter 6. Chapter 6 is notorious for the chapter that typically cry on. And I didn't cry this time, but I just read it recently before this, like, re-edit type of thing, because I've read a few of these scenes recently, and the scene that normally makes me cry, I'd already reread, and it did make me cry. So I just think it was a little too soon of a turnaround. However, I think I'm gonna work on Project TM today as well. Project TM has been called a lot of different things. I have taken down anything for Project BB because I will be turned into a different project eventually in my life. I took down all the videos discussing that with that title. And also, I think I've called it Project Fake Dating because I have told you that's what the trope is for the book. However, from now on, you will hear me call it Project TM. I'm pretty deep into this, as I'm not 20-ish thousand words into this. I think it's gonna be probably like 80K by the end, and the outline is pretty good up until like a certain point, but I can write until that point. And so I'm thinking of maybe just like adding 500-ish words here or there to the manuscript every once in a while. I'm trying something new with this project as well, and that is where when I finish a chapter, I go back and I edit. And so with that in mind, we will fully see where we're gonna go with this whole thing. But at this moment in time, I think my goal is to try to write like 100 to 500 words a day. I've not made a certain goal yet. This is just simply because like certain chapters for GSR are going to take a lot more time and a lot more attention than other chapters, if that makes sense. If you're in editing, you understand what I mean by that. So the chapters that do need a lot more time, I'm not going to write that day. It is what it is. The chapters that I could probably get another 500 words in somewhere else. So we're gonna try that. So I'll continue to update you. That's all I got. I did do chapter 8 yesterday, which was on the plan. I'm doing chapter 9 today. I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. That being said, I also worked on Project TM yesterday. I ran through the outline. I changed some stuff, got the outline back up to date with where I'm at currently, follow the progress of the story, and we're also adding in something extra towards the end because the whole ending has to change. I was gonna pull things from the original ending, but it's so wrapped up into a storyline that is no longer existent in the book that I just don't feel like there's anything down there that's usable. Think there's anything, maybe the epilogues and stuff, because the epilogues are different. So that's where we're at. I'm really excited to continue working on Project TM and going in through all that, so it's all very fun. Alright, that being said, I will update you at a further date. Got some fun news for you. So I did do my chapter for yesterday. I think today I was going to try to do some writing as well. 500 and something words, 540 or something into Project TM. And I was going to try to maybe do that again today, set a bit more words to that project, which I'm really excited about. I have decided I want to continue my editing journey, and I might try to edit chapter 10 and 11, I think is what we're on. We might be on 10 chapter. What chapter are we on? Yeah, 10 and 11 today might be the goal. I don't know how long that is. I know 11 is the chapter that I do have to make some adjustments to, especially for that final scene. So chapter 10 and 11, I just feel like I could be making more progress with the book and with the story, and I've been holding myself back a bit because of this restriction that I put on myself. We do want that first scene. Okay, it's 5,000 words, definitely the most amount of words I've edited. However, today is a Friday, so that's good. That's a good sign. I feel like there's a good chance that it should be fine. I don't know. We're gonna try. I have no promises, so I might just aim for chapter 10. Chapter 11 will be fun. If I can get focused and I can do like 2 or 3 30-minute sprints today, I definitely feel like we'll be golden. So we'll see. But that's where I'm at with the writing. I have some great news. We're making tremendous progress on Mr. and Mr. St. James. I also have a release date, which I can share with you because by the time this video comes out, it will probably be December, and so the book will be coming out relatively soon, which means it is available pre-order, and that is December 9th, which I'm very excited about. I think it's a good release date. It's a Tuesday. I'm jumping around. Okay, so we did the last one on Monday, which came out the 3rd. That was a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh, a 3rd's good. It's like a day I'm off, right? And normally Tuesdays are like more busy. I'm like, we're not busy in the evening. And so now it's coming out the 9th, the second weekend of December. And I'll probably go to my mom's on the 8th. I'll also probably stop by on the 12th in the morning. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not working. The 9th, I think, is a great day to be able for it to come out because I get paid that day. So we can celebrate without having like a worry about something, or I can go buy myself something. We don't have to go out to eat. I don't know. So we're gonna try Tuesdays because of simply I get paid. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But we're making tremendous progress on it. We have one more chapter to edit. Come home tonight and just be able to like fully immerse myself and finish the formatting and hopefully order the book, get a proof copy. So today my goal is to finish the last chapter, to read through it and finish the edits on that. I think I'm in the middle of edits for this. I think I have 2 chapters left, but I'm pretty much done with the second to last chapter of the book. I've had to change some things. So there's a plane crash sequence that happens. I won't tell you where, but obviously you can, it's towards the end of the book, and I didn't like it. And so I changed the sequence to a different sequence, and I like it much better. I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think there's any other sequences in the end of this book that are going to be like this. I've also started planning for the future. Because I'm like, ooh, ah. So yeah, today, so we're gonna work on that. I'm also gonna get the synopsis done today, or the blurb done, so I can have that ready to go. So we start doing, because I'll make the thumbnail, or not the thumbnail, the full spread covers and stuff for everything, so I can get the pre-orders up today. And I'm gonna start working on the Project TM today, I think. Because starting next week, so I'm planning on taking a week off. So we finish it today on that Sunday, the 5th, the 16th. That means we'll start, I'll do review, like I'll read through the whole thing next week, the 24th or the 25th. I'll spend a day just focused on reading through my 3 books and doing proofreads and making sure everything's great in case I need to make any minor changes to the second or third book, preferably the third book because people have read the second book. So any changes I need to make, last minute changes to the third book, so I can get that up. Today's November 20th for this November writing vlog, and I didn't really do like a lot of writing things today. However, I feel very good about what I do have accomplished. I took it upon myself. Okay, let's walk you through the pathway. So the original plan was I was going to do outlining this week. Well, I have some work stuff going on that's making outlining a little difficult. I need to write that down. I did kind of roughly outline a spin-off book to a series, and that's all I can really say about it in my head on one of my final things I did for my job. I didn't write any of that stuff down. I have a kind of good idea of the shapings of that book, which is nice. I definitely, that I'm thinking about, I'll write that down before I go to bed. However, I started thinking myself, and I'm like, okay, I need to basically jot down in a long listicle of all the ideas that I currently have in my brain, and also I need to figure out deadlines, I need to figure out all these things, and so we can start really planning this out. There's a lot of books next year that I'm really excited to get to you guys. There's a lot of things coming, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, coming next year. And this year I'd only had 3 things planned, and all 3 things did come out. I had one other thing. I'm really happy I pushed it to the end of next year instead of it coming out this year at the end of the year. Ooh, I don't think I could handle doing all of those throughout the entire year. I have so many other stuff going on. The important part here is that I knew for a fact I needed to sit down and just come up with all the ideas in my head and start mapping them out. And so I did that in a normal Word doc called All My Books for Publication, and I was like, this is not doing it. And so instead I have a few other trackers that I keep track of to kind of help. I have a Books I Own tracker, which is dedicated to my shelves. This is just simply so when I'm going out and I'm randomly going to thrift stores and stuff, I can be like, oh, I already own that book, don't buy it again twice. Fun fact, I still did it. But I have that, and I also have I used to have a tracker. I think I'll try to do it next year, who knows. I track the books I read in some of the other places. I don't think it really that matters. Where it's dedicated to that, and that's where a lot of this came from. So now I made a tracker which is dedicated to all of the books that I have planned for publication. Alrighty, hello. I want to come here, and this is slightly editing, Jacob, but also I think it's better to show you an example of what I'm doing and what I'm talking about here. So I'm just going to walk you through my whole entire process when it comes to all my writing tracker, which is what this is. And we're going to use Gunshot Residue. These are books that are currently out, so I don't mind if you see what they are. I don't even mind that this is a spy romance. That's where I'm at in life. Essentially, I have the title of the book. Now, this could change. This could be, the title is a very journalistic thing here. It's just whatever you call your work in progress. Mine actually have titles or official titles, but they're not going to change. So that's what these are. The genre, I have a lot of different genres here. I don't care if you see any of these, and spy romance is one of those, so that's what it's under. We also have the series names, which is GSR. We the book names. This also could say standalone on it. I don't want to pull these open because they have all the series in here, and there's a lot of things I've not announced yet that I'm keeping to the chest for the moment, so I ain't gonna spoil any of that. Book numbers, this is pretty simple, whole 9 yards, pretty easy. I also want to know if it's outlined, and if it is outlined, what type of outline is it? Is this a very in-depth, a chapter outline is very simple. Chapter C and outline, that's a very in-depth outline for me personally. A partial outline, also pretty simple, but also means I probably am still working on it. A plot summary is either it works for the book itself or just started working on the outline. Not outlined yet, which means it's just an idea in the back of my head. Same thing with drafts, so we have, a bunch of different drafts here. I typically go through 3 or 4 drafts, maybe 5, depending on the amount of feedback I get, and then depending on how much of that feedback impacts the actual work. Then I also have a word count, a current word count, and a word count left. So this is a current work in progress, like the music use, for instance. This would have a bigger number over here and a smaller number, or this would be more even as we work through the book on the estimations, but I don't have those. A tracker link, that's because I have another page like this, which is dedicated to tracking things. I have my yearly tracker over here, but I also have like a dedicated like project trackers, and so if I want to connect those, I can. Is this a pen name project? Yes or no? And also, what's the pen name that it goes to? All those things are here. Essentially, it's a no, and then if it is a pen name, what's the pen name? It's not actually like a yes. Developmental edits. This is a simple question for me. Have they gone through developmental edits? Does the book go through betas? Yes, no. Or traditionally published is also an answer here, because I do believe if I go through traditionally published, those do sometimes require different things. Like your developmental edits will probably go through with your agent, and they won't go necessarily through with you. I mean, you can go through 19 drafts with your book. There's so many rounds of developmental edits, if that makes any sense. So it's a different type of draft. So that's why there's traditionally published. Has it gone through betas? For instance, the last 2 books in the series didn't go through betas. I had one person read both of them. They were mostly just reading it for other reasons. It wasn't so much for beta feedback. You know, all you guys know that I make my own covers, and or someone's making their own covers, so that's what this is for. Has it been proofread? Has it been kickstarted? Certain projects of mine, I think, will be kickstarted, so that's where those will go. Is it published? The date that I had planned on publishing it, the date that it was published. Technically, the only wrong date here is that this should probably have been October 20th, which was the original plan for P49. It got moved to November 3rd. Whole thing. And then also I like a formatted publish as well to just tell me, hey, this is in paperback and ebook. However, if it's in special edition, if it's a hardcover, if it has an audiobook, all those things will also be listed here. That way I'm aware. If it's in it's in a book subscription, which would be a dream of mine one day for these things to be in those, all those things will be updated in this tracker. This is just simply for me as a creator to know exactly where my content's at. Also, because this is a completed series, I have also started to color code them because they're published. The rest of these things are not color coded like this. Let me know if you want something like this for you to use, if this is handy for you like it was for me, and I can totally make a blank version of this, like a generic version of this that is more oriented to you, where you can fill out the drop down menus and do all that fun stuff. And so let me know in the comments down below, and I can do that. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the rest of this video. That's what I've been doing today for writing. That was my writing. Like I said, I did also, I guess, outline a book, or I did a plot summary kind of a book. I would even count as like my full outline. It's like my rough draft of an outline, because those need to be a bit more in depth, especially with the way that I'm planning on releasing and writing these. Lots of fun things. Ignore my voice. I'm sure it sounds a little shaky. That's because I have a cold. But I got really fun book mail, and it's the last unboxing for this series. And I was like, oh my god, we gotta sit down and we gotta film it. So we're filming it. This will go up in the writing vlog and also in the other fun video that I've been filming for like 4 years now. I'm very excited. Okay, let me see. Oh my god. It's here. Ah, I see it. Also, it's an author copy, so there's no marking or anything. It's just the book. It's so pretty in person. Is it upside down? Oh my god, I was so nervous that it was upside down, but it's not. And the interior is like the same, so like I'm not even like really that worried about the interior. I can't, guys. I can't. I've been waiting for this to come for a little bit now, and it's finally here. Obviously, this is the 3rd book in my romantic suspense novella trilogy, The Moment of Truth. Do they look good on a shelf together? Well, I think they're gonna look good, but here they are. Here are my babies. They have gunshot residue. You got P49. You got Mr. and Mr. St. James. I don't know what they all look like side by side. Oh, they look nice. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. It's crazy. I can hold them all 3 in my hand. Like, it's crazy. Okay, I gotta go show my husband, because he's gonna be excited as I am after I make a thumbnail. But, yeah, okay. They're all here. They're all 3 here. Look at them. Look at the colors. Oh, it works so well. Okay, obviously there's one more to come, but we won't be seeing that for a few months. Bear with me. But I'm so excited. Look at, I think it looks so good. Like, is he a bit bigger than the other, like, face-wise? I think maybe he is a bit bigger than the other ones. They have a bit more room. I like it. I think it turned out really, really well in paperback. I'm really a big fan of the paperback. Okay, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. For actual, like, writing, because that's obviously, I just unboxed my my author copy of the final book in my trilogy. I did no writing yesterday. I was sick as fuck yesterday the whole entire day, and I had a bad work. It was like a whole day. Okay, Thursdays are always a whole day, and yesterday was no different in the mind of a Thursday. However, I feel much better today, so we should definitely get some good writing done today. I'm really excited about it. I think the problem I'm having is that the chapter that I'm writing is the wrong chapter, and I think there needs to be something before it. I'm also thinking that the way this happens is, it's just like, I was like, oh, I need to get this out of the way. I need to start building this plot point up. And I feel like having some more tension with it, because they just had this whole conversation. These two people just had this whole conversation for the Muse. Did I announce it? It's called the Muse. A lot of people saw that TikTok. So for the book, right? They just had this whole last chapter, this whole last scene or whatever was about this like one thing, and I feel like but also like the question becomes how important I'm watching someone on YouTube. I'll link him down below. He's posting shorts writing every day in November. I'm absolutely enjoying it like a lot, and he's talking about he's writing a dual POV and talking about which POV to put in the perspective that you need it to be in. And I don't really have, I mean, once they get into some more nitty-gritty details, I do think the problem's gonna rise. For me, the problem that is arising right now is I'm not really sure. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look back at the outline and figure out if I'm missing something, or maybe I'm just starting the scene wrong. It's also possible. This is the first time we're having two POVs back to back. So essentially we finished Act 1. I feel like maybe there needs to be like one more chapter in Act 1, and then we can bridge the gap into what I want to write right now. And so I think there might be another chapter. That's where I'm at with writing. Obviously, all 3 books are here, which is so exciting. Oh my god, it's so pretty in person. I love the blue. I think the blue turned out so nicely. So all 3 books are here, which is great. And that's all I got for you. Hello, I'm gonna come here and close out this writing vlog. You know what? I think this was a win, so we are going to continue doing them. This was a testing period, and I like having a month-long writing vlog where I can just come in and update you guys. We also had a bunch of shorts come out. Obviously, not every short came out. I'm about to make one here that should be posted today on the 1st of December, catching you guys up to speed where we're at and how many words we wrote towards at the end of the month as well to wrap up novel writing month. I did publish a book this month as well on November 3rd, P49. By the time this video comes out, Mr. St. James is also out. It comes out December 9th. And I spent the first 20 days outside of one day on the 18th working exclusively in this story. It came out to be a grand total of 33,000 words that was edited and rewritten and just mashed together. And so that's how many words were dedicated to this month for this book. The rest of the month, which came out to be about 8,000 words from the 21st to the 30th, was dedicated to the Muse, A Secret Project, Elizabeth Snow, because I did write some notes for that, mostly to the Muse, which is my contemporary project that I'm currently working on, that the rest of December will be talked about, but we'll talk about that in December's writing vlog. Today, I did finish off the writing with 1,923 words, and I feel really good about those words. I was nervous. I'm working a weird shift, and so I was nervous I wasn't gonna get anything writing done. Honestly, should not had nerves. That's what the world told me. I'm really excited where we're going with that story, but we'll talk about it in the next vlog. Let me know in the month of November. This was a very big writing month for a lot of people. My grand total came out to be 43,750 words. That is a lot of words. Did I hit the 50K goal? No, but did I have a 50K goal? Also no. I didn't have a direct word count goal for the month of November, so I'm really happy with that word. Also, once again, that's not like I wrote every single one of those words. That's partially edited words, that's partially rewritten words. It's a whole spew of things and stuff here. 8,000 of those are brand new written words. The other 30,000, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm just trying to be very transparent. That being said, whatever you wrote, I hope it was great. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you're enjoying what you're writing. I saw someone talk about this, and I don't think it's talked about enough in the community, and I do think I'll make a whole thing talking about it. I have this idea that I want to get into until it actually comes available, but I feel like maybe it'll be in that. And that is talking about writing what you want to read instead of writing what you think will do well. And there's always this conversation about if you're a new time author and you're like, I'm just here for the sales. Girl, you're in the wrong profession. You should go find somewhere else. 2, okay, you could become super popular. I'm not saying that, but it takes time. Even, not everybody can be the next TikTok sensation, and not a lot of people are the next TikTok sensation. A lot of main authors that are working today had to have time to build their brand and build who they are, and so I think that's really, important. And by the way, my point here when it comes to all of this is, especially in general, write what you want to read. If you're not writing what you want to read, you are doing a disservice to yourself, and you're doing a disservice to your fan. But I'm tired, so I could go on a tangent, and I don't think it's necessary for an outro. That being said, this is my closing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.